Instead focus on are exceptions that happen to reinforce the narrative that black people only had a role of servitude. There is no better example for this than the transformation of Queen Elizabeth I from her first-hand accounts to her repainted figures. In the Calendar of State Papers and Manuscripts Relating to English Affairs on page 1058, when Ambassador Giovanni Michel writes, quote, "Of this sister of hers, I must remind your serenity that after the repudiation of Queen Catherine, the present Queen's mother, she was born of Henry VIII, and of his second wife, Anne Boleyn, an Englishwoman and of noble birth, although 2 years afterwards she was beheaded for adultery. My Lady Elizabeth was born in September 1533, so she is now 23 years old. She is a young woman whose mind is considered no less excellent than her person, although her face is comely rather than handsome, but she is tall and well-formed, with a good skin, although swarthy." End quote. And if you wondered what swarthy means in Old English, it means of dark complexion, or black. And yet when we look at portraits and paintings for Elizabeth, she is depicted with the whitest of white skins, with what happens to be curly red hair. Take a note of this, as it will come to be of importance as we progress. In yet another account of Elizabeth in the book English and Scottish History, she is described by Sir James Melvin as follows, quote, "Her hair was more reddish than yellow, curled in appearance naturally. She desired to know of me what color of hair was reputed best, and whether my queen's hair or hers were best, and which of them two was the fairest." End quote. Well, it is not uncommon at all for black women to be born with curly red hair, as you can see in these many examples: swarthy, of dark complexion with curly red hair, and again swarthy dark complexion with curly red hair. And if you are still doubting that iconoclasm erased as many images of black nobility as they could find, here is yet another example. In the book Queen Elizabeth by Alison Weir, Sir Francis Walsingham is spoken of by the Queen as follows. Quote, "Walsingham was nearing 40. He had been educated at Cambridge, Gray's Inn, and Padua, and become an MP. Later he had come under the patronage of Cecil, who had offered him a post at court, and later placed him in charge of his secret agents. Because of his swarthy complexion and black clothes, Elizabeth nicknamed Walsingham her Moor." End quote. As we have just seen, Sir Francis Walsingham was a Moor and was swarthy of complexion, but if you search for his images, this is what you get: someone who is the farthest away from swarthy.
Revelation 13:3. "And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast." Shalom. Yeah, this is the part of history. You got to know history. And when he was wounded was during the Middle Ages, when the Hebrew Israelites came into power during the Middle Ages, which you also known as the Dark Ages. We interrupted Esau rulership during the Roman Empire under Septimius Severus in 193 AD. All right? So with that, I'm going to say shalom. Y'all do your own diligent research. Shalom.